Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Meat Network in Cool Capacity. Today's Friday, March 1st. It's about 40 degrees outside here in southeastern Michigan. I've got my usual suspect here with me today for season 2, Rick Taylor. Rick, how you doing, man?
Eric, I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Good. Happy Friday to you.
Thank goodness. I'm ready for Friday.
Yes, sir. So how's things going in Central Indiana, chapter-wise, right? New year, first quarter of the new year. What are things looking like for you guys, man?
Pretty good, right? Trying to get through the first of the year things, wrap up anything from 2023. Obviously, we held elections. We had some officer stuff move around a little bit. We brought in a new treasurer. Working through some of that process behind that, trying to get some trainings in. We had a training last week. We brought harmonics in to talk a little bit about EPON. I don't know about where you're at, Eric. We're seeing a lot of it here, so it's happening pretty quick. So trying to get that information.
Pretty busy training week for us, I'd say. We had a 10G training earlier in the week, and then we had coherent optics, which a couple of our assistant board members hosted, which was good. We've got another training coming up on March 8th. That'll be safety with Catherine Stewart and team, and then also in partnership with SCTE Golden Gate chapter as well. So that should be a fun one on the 8th.
That sounds good. We've 2 years in a row, we've used Kathy and her team to do a general safety session. And it's always been very well received. Her and her team do a great job. So it's nice to see that they're expanding and helping you guys out as well.
Yes, we're going to have Matt Coles as the MC. And I know that you're not shocked at all by that. So.
When I think of your board members, Matt comes to mind. That's a good role for him. So that's my buddy. What's coming up with your chapter? What's next? You got a training, but vendor show. What do you have for vendor show? You got a date picked out, I'm sure. Venue. When's that?
March 28th at the Novi Sheridan. We're going to have our cable games and vendor day, and we're still in discussions right now about potentially having a training upstairs at the Sheridan too, like we had done last year with Cable Labs. We also offer lunch to all the folks that attend too. It's a traditional event for us. It's really nice to get back to the month that we used to always have it. In prior years, it was more towards like later spring, but now we're getting back to that March date. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we'll see if I can sneak in there like I did last year. I'd love to see everybody and things like that. So we've got ours on the calendar. Working to get some communication, a lot of communication out around it. But we're gonna April 18th there at Hoosier Park in Anderson, our typical place, typical suspects. It's kind of cool. We got the horse track and the casino. We never go there, but some people might enjoy that. But yeah, so the April 18th for us. Looking forward to a good show.
Fun fact about your show too, that was the very first SCTE event I ever attended.
Monumental. I mean, that's what we do. So I guess I didn't realize that was your very first. I remember that the event when that was the first time I met you in person, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So,
and I think that was what, like 2016, 17, somewhere in that time frame.
Yeah, probably around 16 or 17. I'm glad we could inspire you to become a chapter leader. I didn't even know we did that, but you're welcome. So,
thanks, buddy.
Right. So we got that April 18th for our chapter, and April's going to be a busy month for me. We've got some work meetings and things like that. But it seems like there's something else going on in April that should be some relevance to the chapters. Anybody?
Huh.
What is it?
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
I think it's the chapter leadership conference in Scottsdale, Arizona this year, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. So April 8th, well, 9th and 10th is technically the conference. I know there's a lot of folks that are going to travel in on the 8th in Arizona. So looking forward to that. And that'll kind of segment into where we're going on the podcast. But we wanted to, and Eric's part of this, and so are our guests, bring on some folks and really just talk about CLC, some experiences, some things like that. I've been to a couple. I get the pleasure of being on that subcommittee for the event. And then during the subcommittee during the meetings of the subcommittee, we decided, hey, let's do a little hype podcast. So here we are. The date's set, times are set, the schedule's built very well, very nice. It's going to be a great time. That being said, Eric, let's introduce our guests and have them share a little bit about themselves, and then we'll start hounding them with questions.
Sounds good. We've got Robin Fenton, who's the Vice President and Membership and Learning Operations of SCTE HQ. We've also got Jeff Haggerty, who's the President of the Lake Michigan chapter. And we've got Sadie Molinet, who is the VP of the Central Florida chapter.
Well, welcome
to the show.
Sadie, just in time.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So let's start with just a quick introduction from everybody, and I'm going to start with Robin. We'll move to Sadie and then to Jeff. Robin, tell us just a little bit about yourself and your involvement with SCT and the chapters.
Sure. So I oversee the chapters, the membership, customer care, and learning operations here at SCTE. I am going on 20 plus years at SCTE.
Wow.
We'll keep just the plus. I'm not not sure exactly the number there, but my experience with chapters has I started at my first CLC was 2006. So well over 15 years of attending CLCs and learning a lot from the chapters. So excited for this upcoming CLC.
Do you remember the first one?
Actually, it was Phoenix, Arizona. So we have not been back to Arizona since 2006. It was my first CLC. I was actually still with the standards group at the time. I was not with chapters yet. I was presenting on some of the new software we were rolling out at the time. And so it was my first experience with chapters, which is, the chapter team is a great team. So all the volunteers are excellent. And I've been working with chapters ever since.
It's fantastic.
I love that. It's the full circle. So hi, everybody. I am Sadie Molinet. I am with the Central Florida chapter. I'm the vice president this year. I have been in the industry going on 9 years, which is wild because this is a path I never, ever would have guessed for myself, but I love it and it's awesome. So I work for Spectrum Enterprise. I am in the sales side of the business, actually. So what I love about being involved in SCTE is this is the kind of back end of the business for me, right, that I get to learn about and really explore and just get to know more about since I do more of the customer-facing piece of it. So really just love having this opportunity and excited to be here with you all.
Shout out to Sadie, too. This was actually her idea.
Yes,
You're
definitely.
too kind. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you could make it, Sadie, and glad you're on today. And we look forward to some question and answer with you shortly. So I'll move over to Jeff. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Haggerty.
Sure. My name is Jeff Haggerty. I'm the owner and president of Digitrace, a small company that's been involved in the cable industry for 41 years now. I've only been involved with it for about 15. Yeah, so 41 years. Small business. A lot of small businesses don't make it past year one, so it's been a good run. I'm the president of the Lake Michigan chapter. This is my second year as president. I've been a voting board member for 8 or 9 years, I think. And I've been a member of SCTE since I started in the industry 15 years ago. We have a very interesting geographical spot because we're right in between the Great Lakes and the Lake Michigan chapter. So actually, one of our other employees is actually a board member at Great Lakes, and then I'm a board member at Lake Michigan. So I think that's kind of a little fun thing about our group and our support. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this discussion, so I won't cap too much there, but definitely excited about CLC, excited about bringing a whole bunch of the Lake Michigan team there, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more discussion on that.
Hey, Jeff, you touched on a good point. How many chapter members are you bringing to Scottsdale?
So we actually have 7 people that are going to be going to Arizona this year. Our chapter, basically what we did is we looked at all of the people who hadn't gone that have stepped up, that hold some form of leadership position, and that are interested in possibly holding a future leadership position. And we had 8 hands go up. One of them actually backed down. But yeah, we have 7 people going, and you know, that is by far the most I've ever seen this chapter generate. And I know some of it's some excitement because we did have a very good year in 2023. So there's a little bit of that we're using to capitalize on. But I kind of have a pretty strong passion for leadership. And so I've been working on this group, getting them to go. And yeah, so we're sending 7 people. So they all plan to register today. So you should see the registrations go up, Robin.
We'll take that for sure. For sure. Now, that's great news, and it's awesome that your chapter can do that. And you know, what a great event. My first CLC was my first year as a board member, and I gotta thank Denver. It was in Denver. I'd never been on a board, never done anything. Dale was she was my contact lady at the time, and worked with her, and I got to meet her in person. But that was 7-ish, 8 years ago. I've only ever been to 2. So
Rick, I think my first one was in your backyard. Right, going back to earlier. Yes, it was. That was my first one. We were coming out of COVID at that time, right?
Yeah, that was that was a lot, because that was one of the first in-person events. I guess what we would call post-COVID. I'm not sure if it's over or not, but so there was a lot of challenges there. Was it going to happen? Was it not? Can we do it? Can we not? You know, is there going to be local support? But pulled it off and ended up being a great event. A lot of fun, a lot of new faces. Got to have some great conversations with folks and spend a lot of quality time learning about the chapters and how to be better chapter leaders. So I'm gonna throw a question out there. Has everybody been to a CLC? Jeff has, Sadie has. Okay, so we're all good. All right, and Eric, you're part of these questions too. So, and same format. Robin, you're kind of, you know, with you being a national, I know you don't sit through a lot of trainings. You probably do a lot of the trainings, so what are you looking for from the leadership conference? You know, what is something that you look forward to, or that you hope to learn? And I'll start with Robin, and we'll work through Sadie, Jeff, and then back over to Eric. But what is something that you know, you're looking for from the chapter leadership conference?
So I think my answer is going to be a little bit different, because I'm going to be looking to see, you know, what feedback I can get from the chapters, what things that we can implement at SCTE headquarters to help chapter leaders out. You know, what feedback they have, what is working, what isn't working, and how can we assist in the upcoming year. So it's always so much fun to see the excitement that the chapter leaders have at CLC. Typically, we have a group of people who are, you know, have been leaders for a while, and then another core group of people who it's their first time attending. And it's just great to see the enthusiasm that happens, not just at the event itself, but then as they go back to their chapters and they start talking about what they learned and all the different things. So I'll be looking to learn a bit more just about what is going on in each of these chapters that we can help with.
Awesome, thank you. Sadie, what about you? What are you looking for? And I asked, but Sadie, yes, we were in Oklahoma City. I remember you being at CLC. We were in Oklahoma City. So.
I know. How could you forget me? Let's be real. No, so I was going to say I'm on the newer end, right? So last year was my first time serving on an SCTE board and getting to attend CLC, which was phenomenal. And so that's immediately actually after I asked if I could join the CLC subcommittee, because I do love events. They're one of my passions. And I also love the leadership development, the opportunity for us to network, get together, really share ideas. So I knew I wanted to be a part of this group and help encourage and empower others. So last year was really an amazing opportunity for me to get to know everybody. I've built some great relationships outside of my chapter as a result, which I'm so thrilled about, because for me, it's been an opportunity that if I've got a question about how someone's done something, I can go ask them, right? Where, just having like additional resources, right? Not just within the chapter. So we get to kind of expand our view and think about things differently, right? Because if you just keep it within yourself, you never really grow. So that's what I'm still really just excited about, is honestly kind of just furthering this journey. So getting to build those networks, those relationships, and kind of just learn some additional things. I'm really digging into the matrix this year. Like how can we maximize that? I'm just very excited all around.
That's awesome. Jeff?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer this as a two-parter. What am I looking for, and then what I'm hoping our board gets out of it. So, as the president of the board, I am really looking forward to those other 6 people from our chapter that are going to find some inspiration. But what I'm really looking for them to do is to develop their SCTE network and their tendrils. So, Sadie mentioned it. She built this network outside of her own group. Our group needs to start to look beyond our little section. I mean, I have the advantage of being a vendor that I'm out in all kinds of places and see all kinds of people. So I'm really looking for them to both get exposed to all of these different people, build this network so that ultimately they develop some new board skills. And I think that that's the best thing about CLC that you can possibly get, is that you do build a network of skills. And now, like Sadie said, you can draw upon all these things. You don't have to know everything, because now you know somebody that knows it. So that's what I'm looking for the chapter. For me personally, I'm looking to get a little bit inspired, and I'm looking for my first challenge as a moderator for a panel. I've never done this before, so it's stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I'm looking forward to the challenge to myself to do that type of thing, and hopefully I can use that as not only for some inspiration, but also to help inspire others. So, thank you.
Love it, Jeff. You had mentioned network. It is a pretty neat network, isn't it, Rick?
That it is. The networking's huge, right? And that's a huge part of SCTE. There's the training, and there's the education you can get, but the resources that you learn from, or you can gather from the network you build, unbelievable. It's helped me in my career, and I'm sure a lot of others. But Eric, what about you? Same question. What are you looking for from CLC this year?
I'm with Jeff. This is my first time ever being on a panel, and so it's a new challenge. I love to challenge myself. And so that's what I'm doing, right? And I actually talked with Andrew Frederick of the Rocky Mountain chapter yesterday, and we're going to sync up next week, kind of get our things together, right, for CLC. So that should be fun. Everybody else touched on it. It's building your relationships with your fellow SCTE members. Meeting folks in Alaska, or meeting folks in California, or meeting folks on the East Coast, and building that collaboration has been big for me.
Yeah, awesome. Eric, you got any questions for the group?
I do. Let's see here. So I think the first one would be, what is your favorite part of the chapter leadership conference? And we'll start with Robin.
Oh my. Okay. So my favorite part of the Chapter Leadership Conference is the Teamwork Award. And because it does do exactly what you guys are already talking about, which is kind of force those conversations of reaching out to a secretary. And while, you guys as presidents and chapter leaders already recognize how important that network is, sometimes the new people attending don't realize how important that part of a chapter leadership conference is. And so with the Teamwork Award, having people, reach out to their secretary and a secretary that they don't know, or reach out to a chapter president that they don't know, and kind of make that more of something that everybody has to do as part of that award, that kind of makes it an easier conversation for them to have. And that way, whether they've attended before or it's their first time, they all can reap the benefits of networking.
Very nice.
So if we're going to go in our circle, I just figured I'd keep it simple. I would say my favorite, just to capitalize on the neat network, is that really it is the networking piece. And I know I talked about that, but I really do think it's huge. Just because, again, I think just really sharing ideas and having the opportunity to get to know each other and really share those resources. And again, to me, it goes beyond SBTE, right? Because I think, as we all know, building our network really just helps us professionally, personally, like a multitude of ways. And so I think that for me is what I'm most excited about. Last year, some of my favorite things were the social times. We had a fun cornhole tournament, and then, one night unofficially, we might have all gone out. And so, that was just a great opportunity to get to know folks. So I would say that's kind of my highlight.
Absolutely. Every time, right? We always find some time to have some fun, and it's always a good time. Jeff, what about you? Favorite part?
I think it's hard to pick my one favorite part after Matrix A to Z, of course. That has to be number one.
Of course, that's got to be number one.
Got to be number one. No, I actually think that in this case, it'll be Tuesday nights. But I think Tuesday night after the event, officially wraps up for the day, this is where, hopefully, my team is going to be working back and forth with other people's teams and seeing that built. That's really my favorite part. So, really, again, seeing that development. The long-term future of the chapter is built on the idea that, all these people learn stuff and whatever, and that networking is such a cool part of it. So yeah, Robin puts together some great trainings. I'm really looking forward to being like I said, a moderator. But I think probably my favorite part is just that interaction where we build those skills and networking skills.
Now, Jeff, I've got a question. Are we going to have time to go to In-N-Out Burger?
Because we've never been to I mean, I've heard it's supposed to be great. Andy Reid loves their cheeseburger, right? But I don't know.
Count me in. I am a huge In-N-Out Burger fan, and that is a favorite when I go over to the West Coast.
I can't wait to try it.
Oh, yes. You have to know about the secret menu.
Okay, I'm jotting that down.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, what? Yes. Robin has to go with us, I guess. Pencil her in for sure.
A Neapolitan shake, double, animal style, I think it's called, or something like that. But yes, it's a whole. So you go in there and there's a menu and it only has 5 items, but there's a whole secret menu that you can order from.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll see if Nadia comes through with the reservations for it and see if it makes group dinner.
It makes a group dinner.
You never know, right? You never know. But
I don't know if they take reservations. We'll have to check that out.
Yes and no, but we can get in a van and hit the drive-thru if we need to. So, no, that's hilarious. There was some emails. Hey, are we going to be able to, sync up at some point? Grab some dinner, and we threw it in one of the emails that got thrown out. Let's just go to In-N-Out Burger. So when I threw that out there, I didn't know there was this following. So, or even this many people that wanted to go. But I can't wait. It's going to be great. So.
Right, because here we're so used to Five Guys burgers and fries, right? There's Sonic, but In-N-Out is just special.
That's right. It's special.
I agree. I visited the Golden Gate chapter one time, And they asked me where I wanted to go, and I literally said In-N-Out, and they're like, no, Robin, we can't go to In-N-Out.
What a bummer. What a bummer. Eric, what's your favorite part of the leadership conference? What is it for Eric?
For me, for the past couple years, it's been the trainings and just getting that menu or selection of trainings, if you will. I love to learn, and I'd say that's been my biggest piece. You could find me in previous years in the rooms, with a notepad and pen, just jotting things down. And maybe that's because of my former secretary life, but that was. I would say that's my favorite part, and so it's kind of a shift for me this year from more of a watcher and observer to somebody that's going to be on a panel, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty good slate of panel moderators, and then panel, presenters. Just the panel guests, and that's how a lot of the training goes, right? For anybody that listens and isn't sure, is basically we're using a lot of the national folks and the chapter leaders to host the trainings while we're at CLC, right? To share that information, to share their best practice. A lot of these folks have been doing this for a while. They've learned sometimes the hard way, but some best practices, maybe some things that didn't work, what's working now that didn't work 5 years ago. And the folks at National, Robin, and her team there, putting that lineup of guests to present, getting that all worked out and organized, total feat in its own, getting people to commit and then send slides in and proof slides, and which part of the committee should be helping. We know, we will. But what a monumental task, and then year after year, just home run after home run on what they put together. And then for those that do get to present or moderate or speak, hats off to them. That's sometimes it's not real comfortable, pushes them. Jeff, you said it, right? Puts you out of your comfort zone a little. It's new to you, develops that growth. But, we couldn't do it without those folks. And so kudos to them. Even during, COVID times, we did virtual ones, and it was still a big lift to get that all put together. So
I agree.
I know you were dying to ask me, Eric, but my favorite part is I've really found my niche in this, and that's I take the attendance at the door as you walk in for the training, and I scan your ID. It's definitely my favorite part. That's what I'm good at. I stand out there. I get to visit whatever training I want that way. It's
that's convenient.
Yeah, my favorite part by far is the people. We can talk about the networking piece and all the other things that come with that, but it's the people. And I really like when you get to see that kind of light bulb moment, that aha moment from some of the newer folks, the younger chapter members, as they start to experience these new things and ask these questions that they're struggling with, and somebody has that answer and shares. And it's just like, that's the reward for me for that is to watch that happen. And it happens every year. It happened for me. So that's it. That's my favorite part of it.
I love seeing that smile on your face too, Rick. So, all right, I've got another question, and we'll keep the rotation the same. This is for Robin to start. Why is this year's event going to be so good?
I would say that I think the speakers definitely make a big difference, right? We have a lot of new learnings coming out of our chapters, from the Penn, Ohio chapter with their YouTube channel to some of the things that Chattahoochee has been doing, and they're going to talk about like beating burnout. Some of the panels discussing here from Rocky Mountain and Great Lakes and all the different chapters that'll be a part of these Central Florida with their vendor days, all of the different things that are happening that I think are just going to make a big difference. That was the reason why CLC started. CLC started actually here at the offices with 20 people that were chapter leaders that got together to share best practices. And that's kind of just the start of it. And the fact that you guys are saying that's what you like about going to CLC, that's the reason why we do what we do. So I think the chapter leaders sharing what they have found success in. We can always provide suggestions here at headquarters, but coming from what has worked for you guys, I think makes a big difference because you guys are volunteers. You know what's going to work and what's not going to work, and you don't have a ton of time to make it happen. So I think you guys are the best examples of why to attend CLC. So let Sadie take it from there.
I think Robin said it best. Honestly, I think really it is the sharing of best practices. I think is going to be the best. I think that encompasses the network building, but I really just think having that opportunity to share with each other and learn. And like Robin covered, some of these newer ideas, right, that I think are invigorating chapters and just, getting people thinking right outside the box, or how might they be able to incorporate something different that they haven't tried yet, they haven't thought of. That's not to say things aren't great, as they are, but right, always looking just for some new ideas and things like that. And then also incorporating what's worked really traditionally, right, for one group, and how could you incorporate that somewhere else. So I just really think sharing of best practices is going to be the highlight and driver for the event.
Awesome, thank you. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, one thing that I think that this year is going to be, so good about, and this is a little bit self-serving, but the Lake Michigan chapter had a pretty good year in 2023. So for us, this is going to feel like that. We're all taught to celebrate our successes, and this is like the physical manifestation of us being able to celebrate, the successes that we had in 2023. I think that that's why this year is going to be, a better, a lot more fun year. Last year at CLC, it was a little tough watching, for instance, everybody walk up and get a certificate for compliance or for training, and realizing that our chapter honestly qualified for 1 out of the 4. We were that bad in 2022. And so, like I said, I think that this year is going to be so good because it does represent a celebration and an opportunity for our members to do that. So I'm looking forward to that part.
I wanted to jump in. Jeff, I love that. Sorry, I know we're going back to me, but I love that so much because it's so true. Us as well in Central Florida had a rough year in 2022. And so 2023, we actually were on the No Chapter Left Behind, program. And so last year, though, we got out of it very quickly. We came out strong. And I have to be totally honest that going to CLC really helped that because, again, it helped in just so many ways. The president and I got to attend last year, and so we just got to learn so much. And so I love that you brought that up about celebrating. And I also want to say, to your point, then, for those that might be in that position, right, where they may be struggling a little, this is a great opportunity then to get some of those skills and know that you can come out of it really quickly, right? Our 2 chapters are testaments to that, and there is a huge benefit to celebrating and then just sharing with others. So I love that.
That's well said, right? And it goes beyond the hardware, right? If you are a chapter that's collecting hardware certificates, it's about building the connection based off of that achievement and success.
Wait, you can get awards there? I didn't know because I don't take the points.
Oh, well, maybe you should go to the Matrix A to Z training, Rick.
What's that? What is the Matrix? I've seen those movies and I love them. No?
A lot of ones and zeros.
I haven't seen those movies, so I'm failing.
I don't know if you are. All perspective. Eric, you got another question for the group?
Yeah, and this one's a little, I wouldn't say it's off track, right? But since we have such special guests on today, I would like to know what each of you like to do in your spare time. right? What are your hobbies? Films, music, books, things you like to do? Starting with Robin.
We're starting with me again. Oh my. I read a lot. I really do. I am typically reading 2 to 3 books at a time, and I read a lot of books. So that is pretty much what I'm doing. But also, my son's in 6th grade, so we're doing the fun times there, and then I travel a lot for work, so on the road and work that. But yeah, if you typically I have an audiobook in my ear, or I am reading something. Right now I am reading West with Giraffes, which is very good. That's my nonfiction. My fiction. My nonfiction is not good, so I will not recommend it. But if you would like a good one that I just finished, the Sisterhood, which is the secret lives of the women of the CIA, was excellent. 5 stars. Highly recommend it.
Robin, what's your overall favorite book, fiction, nonfiction? Put you on the spot. Everybody wants to know. I don't know how to read, so I don't have a favorite book. But
I could not. I don't know if I could pick. I kind of have a top 5 usually at any time. Right now, Sisterhood, Women of the CIA is definitely making that list. How why am I? Hello, Beautiful, I just finished, which was very good. Lessons in Chemistry, I like that. So I go to all different versions of books, and I enjoy just reading and learning more. So.
Now, are they all audiobooks, or do you do hardcover, soft cover as well?
Yep. So audio, I do about half and half. So the Sisterhood, Women of the CIA, I did it with audiobook, and Giraffes, West with Giraffes, I'm doing hardcover. So, yep. So, yeah.
Awesome. Sadie, hobby.
I love that. Fun fact too about Robin. I'm just going to share about one hobby that she didn't share is I learned she loves to visit my state and come play at Disney in the parks. So fun fact there. So come to my warm weather anytime. So I actually also love to read. I prefer to read though on the beach with my toes in the water, and I can sit there for 8 hours straight. I know, don't roll your eyes at me, but blessed here in Florida to be able to live that life. So that's one of my favorite things to do. The beach in general is one of my favorite places. So walking the beach just is very relaxing. I love to travel. I love to eat. I live to eat. I am not the other way around. So love good food. I love just spending time with family and friends. I am always down to try new things. So I don't know. I'm just about living life.
Awesome. Jeff, got any great hobbies?
Apparently, I'm going to continue the reading theme. So, that's I usually have anywhere between 3 and 4 books going at any given time. Combination, nonfiction, fiction, business, whatever. I love to run, so if I have an opportunity, I like to try to do something like that. And outside of my family, so my family situation is a little different. I don't have a 6th grader. My youngest is a junior in college, so it's a little different for me. So I love when my family's around. They get top billing. If it's not them, then it's again I'm exercising, I'm reading, or I'm learning more about wine. So and I'm going to toss out right now. I mean, I don't know if I can truly narrow it down to one favorite book, but I will give you my favorite nonfiction book I've ever read. It's called 6 Minutes to Freedom, and it's the story of Kurt Muse, and he was one of the voices of Radio Panama when the U.S. was trying to overthrow Noriega. So, amazing story of bravery and that type of thing. So this happens to be one of my favorite nonfiction books. And then if you want philosophy, we can talk all day.
Jeff, I have
You
to
go
say,
a couple minutes on philosophy. That's fine, Jeff.
I have to
Right? You're
say,
good for it.
a fun fact about you: you take a lot of hikes.
Yes.
So if anybody follows Jeff on Facebook, he doesn't post them, but he does
Yep.
get tagged a lot. And I'll give you a lot of credit, buddy, because I've thumbed through Facebook and you guys are out there smiling, hiking, we're feeding birds, right? And it looks miserably cold in some of those.
Hey now.
And you get out, you get after it, you and the wife, and sometimes you have some other friends with you, and so that's you can't leave that out of your hobby list, because that shows up almost every week, brother.
It's part of my exercise thing. So yes. Yep. Avid hiker. As a matter of fact, when we're in Arizona, I will probably try to figure out a way to steal out and do a hike somewhere in the desert. So
That's going to be after In and Out, right?
You guys have rattlesnakes in Michigan?
yes, but they're not very dangerous. They'll make you
I
sick.
wouldn't worry about it. It should be fine.
They'll make you sick, but they don't really kill you.
Be fine. Scorpions?
No. We don't
Thank
have
goodness.
beach weather very often, but we don't have scorpions, we don't have crocodiles, and we don't have any dangerous snakes. So we've got that going for us.
Well, there's none of those in Scottsdale, so we don't have to worry about it. I was just asking in general. I mean,
Perfect.
it's perfect there. There's no critters, no creepy crawlies.
That's
And let me know.
perfect.
Let me know when we're hiking. I'll go.
Perfect.
I'm in. So,
All right.
Eric,
Me too.
you're in. All right, Sadie's in too. Robin, we'll hike to In and Out.
That works.
Eric, why don't you share, some maybe a favorite hobby you have?
Music junkie. Big into music, right? I used to make my own in a former life. And like, honestly, some of this is just put together, based on that audio file thought. So shout out to music for inspiring me and inspiring you to do this podcast in the very beginning, right? This is what, episode 8? Or no, it might be episode 7.
Not sure. 7 or 8. So we keep Eric around. He keeps me honest. He forces me into some things. We have a lot of fun doing it, and it's because we can
You
bring
wouldn't go to
folks
the
on.
Suns game.
Maybe I've been to a Suns game before.
Yeah.
I'm a one-time experience type of person. If I did it once, maybe I'm good with it. It's
What are your
selfishly-
hobbies?
Oh, my hobbies. Oh, I don't have any. So that's not true. I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old that consume most of my time. Robin knows. So we're just slightly 3 grades behind. But really what it comes down to is less of hobby and what gets my mind off of work, which I guess is what a hobby should do. And it's tinkering, it's fixing, it's building. I like working with my hands. That's probably why I've been in the industry as long as I have. And it doesn't matter what. Anybody that's been on a video conference call with me in the past year has noticed the progression in my garage. We're getting closer to finishing that. I figure another 3 years. We got paint, things like that. As we did that, we were doing the kitchen in the house, new hardwoods throughout and the whole thing, and I'm too cheap to hire anybody. So you got to figure out how to do it yourself. But all the way down, I like working on cars, tinkering on cars. The kids have 4-wheelers and dirt bikes, and I'm starting to wonder if part of them having things is so I can fix them. But that, I would say that's my hobbies. I'm a tinker. So, and since I can't read, I do really enjoy Audible. So I do a lot on Audible, and most of them are self-help. No, I like a variety. I do mostly, leadership stuff and things like that. And all the folks on the call know I need some help there. That's okay.
So if you couldn't read, what did you do back in the day when you opened the node lid?
I didn't have to read inside of there. I just had to plug things in. I can read. So, but I live out a little bit in the country, grew up in the country. enjoy it here. The only time it's a bummer is when I have to get to work and travel to the office, which is a lot. But I like simple things. I like to sit out in the back. I don't have a beach, but when the weather's nice, sit out on the back porch and have a good time. So
you're welcome to visit anytime. You and Robin come down. We'll do Disney, the beach. You guys are all welcome. It'll be a blast.
My dad lives in Orlando currently, and he tells me that all the time too. He's like, "Come on down." He's got a house. But,
you got a 5 and an 8-year-old.
Hey, if your dad, I can go visit your dad if you don't want to. So just let me know. I live in Tampa, so I mean, family in Orlando. If he needs a friend, let me know.
He does, but I'm not going to set you up for that.
Speaking of Florida, my daughter's in Naples this week on vacation. So she's enjoying herself on the west coast of Florida.
Hey, we have a trip planned for Florida this year, and I know why I don't go down there, because it's money. It's expensive, plane tickets and travel and things, but looking forward to it. And I do enjoy Florida. It's beautiful most of the time. So, all right, Eric, we're coming up on the end of the show. Question.
Yes.
You got any jokes?
I do. You want to hear one or two?
Well, hold on.
But first, we'll probably open up to the group to see if anybody else has a joke that they'd like to go first with, right?
Jeff, did you bring one? Jeff's a returning guest.
I failed to bring one this time. I'm going to have to think about this for just another minute. Go ahead, Eric, or Robin, or Sadie.
I did take a quick look at one. And since we are talking the chapter leadership conference, why did the leader bring a ladder to the meeting?
How come?
So he could climb the corporate ladder. He or she. They. It did say they. So.
Yeah,
there you go.
Thanks for keeping it politically correct.
There you go.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for bringing
thanks for clarifying.
Sadie, I have to put you on the spot. You can say no. I don't have one. Jeff's writing one as we speak. Eric's got one loaded. Nothing funny today.
I am literally reading them right now. Oh, so I'll say this one since we had a beach theme that I found. Why did the cables go to the beach? I don't get it, but it says to get better reception. But I don't get it. You guys, I don't know if it was that great. No,
hey,
yeah, okay, strike that. Sadie will work on her.
No, you brought one. You came, you delivered. We're good. Jeff, help me understand. We're all.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we're all puzzled by that one. All right, so I told this one a long time ago at a presentation for scouts, and the question was, where do pirates get their hooks?
I don't know, Jeff. Where?
At a secondhand store, of course.
I don't get it.
There you go.
Things like pirate jokes.
They're really solid. And it ties back to our beach theme with the pirate. So, Eric.
A cable asked an electrical engineer on a date. The engineer said, "Sorry, I don't have any sparks between us."
I mean, I get it. Tying it back. Cable dad joke.
Cables make great jump ropes, but they can be a little high strung.
Eric writes his own content. No?
Stop.
No. They're on the websites.
I know. Any other? You got any more loaded?
No, I just had two in the chamber, so I think we're good. Yeah, this has been great today, and we really thank all of you for taking in this journey, to be honest with you, because Rick and I weren't sure exactly how we wanted to kick off the new year. And so is that going to be a continued format of folks that are strongly SCTE oriented. And then this idea was derived out of all of us on one of the subcommittee meetings, and it was perfect. It was a perfect way to kick off season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. I mean, it's Friday. Everybody's busy. Sadie's back-to-back meetings and then trying to squeeze this in, and we all are that busy. So thank you, everyone, for your time, your insight, your thoughts on CLC. We look forward to everybody that can attend, building that bigger network, expanding our network, meeting new friends. I think, and my count could be wrong, we're somewhere around 38 days. Does that sound right?
That might be right.
Maybe 19 hours, 55 minutes, somewhere in there, give or take, depending on where you live. But looking forward to it. Hopefully, and I'm sure another great event. Hopefully, a ton of participation from a ton of chapters, and we can all have a really good time cross-sharing information, learning new information, and meeting some new people and starting some lifelong friendships. So thanks again, everybody, for being part of the show. And hopefully we'll have you on another show at another time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Day and a great weekend.
Happy Friday. Take care.
Happy Friday, yay. Wrap.